Hello and welcome to this subscription video. This time we have two coffees for you from Colombia, from the Huila region. It's from Duver Rojas and Jaime Casallas. I had the pleasure to go to Colombia this year for the first time since I think 2011 and visit these producers that we've been buying from for a couple of years. I think it's actually 4 years or 5 years now with these two. You are getting Jaime Casallas. This is both the name of the father and the son, producing a wonderful coffee, very clean, very balanced, but also with a nice floral top aroma. One of my favorite coffees to drink at home, if I have to be honest. And then you're also getting coffee from Duver Rojas, but this will be more interesting to take you to the farm.
Bueno, bienvenidos a la finca Las Delicias. Mi nombre es Duver Rojas. Encantado de trabajar con Coffee Coletti y espero que sigan disfrutando mi café.
Hello subscribers and welcome here to Las Delicias. Did I pronounce that correctly?
It's almost.
Almost.
Close enough.
We're in Colombia this month and we thought we'd shoot our subscription video straight from the source. I'm here with Peter Ebrup and Duver Rojas. And Peter is both our bar manager at Bernico, but he's also the country responsible person for Colombia. So this is your country.
You can say that.
And you're getting this man's coffee this month, Duver Rojas, who is a farmer that we've been working with for I think it's
6 years now.
6 years.
Yeah.
Wow. And Duver doesn't speak English, so I'm going to have to get all the answers out of Peter. But the good thing is that they've spent, the past many years and then most of the day today together. So we've been bugging Duver for all the questions about his farm and everything. But Peter, start by telling us a little bit about where we are. What is the area here?
Well, we're in Huila, which is a department or a region of Colombia that's famous for its coffee, and we're in the kind of northern part in Gigante, in that area. Where we have relationships with 3 farmers that we've been having fixed contracts with for the past 5 years, where Duver is one of them. The region has these very nice, delicate, sweet, balanced coffees, and what really stands out is their processing. They're very passionate and very strict and have a very rigid program they go through for each of their coffees, which really you can really tell in the consistency of the quality. Yeah.
And Duver produces the coffee here at the farm together with his brothers.
Yes, actually this whole mountainside that's outside used to be owned by their mother, and she divided it out to her 12 children. Some of them sold some land to their brothers and sisters, and there are a few left here. So we buy coffees actually through Duver's name, but from 3 of his brothers, 2 of his brothers, sorry. So Duver, Belmar, and Jose Lizardo.
Yeah, and it's my first time visiting these producers. We had a fantastic walk around the farm this morning. What varieties are they growing here?
Well, they grow a bunch of different varieties. Some of the most abundant are Caturra and Typica. But Jose Lizardo just showed us his Tabi today, which is a plant that I haven't seen before. They have a lot of geisha. Yeah. They also grow a lot of Colombian, which is a variety pretty much all farms up here have. And I'm sure there's others among there, but that's the most predominant coffees they have, yeah.
It seems to be a big mix of different varieties, but they also seem to be experimenting quite a lot with trying out new things.
Yeah, they are. They're very aware. I think the system that's set up here with the help of Caravella as well, which is our third party in this contract. They've set up a system where they're allowed to test different things through cup quality. So they all have a mill down here where they can test the quality of the specific lots, which means that they can test on small batches and then either duplicate that or change the things that doesn't work. So it's actually a very interesting system that allows for a lot of experimentation.
And we saw some of the same experimentation this morning in terms of processing, or I wouldn't say they weren't experimenting right now, but when you're asking into why they choose to process this way. It's based on experimentation and based on cupping scores as well. So how do they process the coffee, and do they do the same, the three brothers?
The three brothers they do it almost the same way. There's depending on where you are on the mountainside, there's different, I'd say, microclimates which has different challenges, but they all base the same idea on of course a washed coffee with a dry fermentation or a controlled fermentation. In this part of the mountains it's a little colder, so the fermentation is a bit longer, and on one side of the mountains it's a little more humid, so the fermentation or the drying is a little longer, but they go for the same percentages and the fermentation is dry, and the coffee is washed. So yes, it's very much similar processing.
And it's definitely a little colder today.
Yes.
You might be able to hear it on the microphone that it's raining right now. We're sitting inside in where the coffee is usually drying in here.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we're dry right now.
Yeah.
But what actually surprised me when we were visiting his brother, Jose Lizardo, he was stirring like the big pot full of the coffee that was fermenting, and he had two small outturns on right now. So one had fermented for 24 hours and the other for 48 hours now. And the 48-hour ferment had gotten a little bit of water, so it's kind of between a wet and a dry fermentation. He adds a little bit of water the longer he gets into the fermentation. Typically when we smell this, I find it quite often to be quite sour in the smell, like a vinegary kind of note, or like a cider or something, or kind of a bad white wine sometimes. But this one was smelling like mango and I don't know, like passion fruit and apples. It was like incredibly sweet in the smell, which was quite surprising actually.
And I think that comes from just a lot of experience. You could also tell that when you ask them how do you weigh out when it's ready fermentation wise, it's based on craftsmanship, and I think that's what's so amazing when working with these farmers, where you can tell it's through generations and it's through years and years of hard work in small fields, small batches, continuing to kind of try to develop. The craftsmanship is just so high. A lot of it is like feel, to the bite, to the nose, the smell.
Yeah, he was mentioning this with the smell actually. For when the fermentation is done, like quite often you will take beans up and rub between your fingers and feel when the mucilage is gone. And in some countries I've seen they have a big stick and they stick down, and if the whole stands, then the fermentation needs a little more time or something. But here was very much depending on the smell, which I found quite interesting as well.
And they all have their small little tricks, so it's not like a standard rules, which also tells you that it's based off their own experience, which I find is super interesting, where it's just not here's the rule book, follow this and it'll be good. It's more, well, what do I actually learn from the stuff that I'm doing, which I think is a solid way of running a small farm.
Well, we certainly enjoyed our time here. We hope you'll enjoy the coffees as well. Muchas gracias, Duver.
Gracias, Duver.
Gracias.
And we
Muchas gracias.
Cool. We hope you will enjoy the coffee very much. Thanks.